All right, y'all. Hey, how y'all doing? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm here with Family or Fiancé, Khaneshia and Lebaron. So, Khaneshia and Lebaron were really good friends. They met in fitness. He was her trainer, and she always liked hanging out with him because he had a good playlist. They became friends after getting out of a long-term situation. So, with hanging out for so long, they just started to, see more about each other they liked, went to lunch, and never looked back. Been together for 3 years, proposed where they had their first date, and now they're getting married. So we get to the house session with Tracy, talking about how they like and trying to be sure that blending the family is what's worth it. So we're talking about how they share very little. Well, on Kanisha's side, she shares very little about her family's about her relationship with her family because they're in different areas. She's in DC, they're in North Carolina. So there isn't enough time or enough space to communicate effectively about their relationship. And I think she likes it like that. I think she likes it. She doesn't have to share her life with her family because she likes the bubble that they're in, where there is no control in that. So, we're finding out that there is some upcoming things that needs to be addressed. She feels like her mom doesn't like the Baron because he's taking her daughter away from her. But without getting to know him and not inviting him into the family, she thinks she's being taken away. And we're talking about LeBaron's temper. LeBaron has a very blunt, direct tone when he's talking about something, and it can come off harsh, and they're trying to work on that. And Tanisha wants it to be understood when they're having discussions that it is being heard on both sides. So they have to do a task, unlock the truth, and what do you want to know? When LeBaron heard that he has a direct tone, a blunt tone, he noticed that, well, in my household, my mother was the father and the mother. So there was some harsh language, some strong language, some sternness that came to him, which I'm definitely understandable about, especially when you have boys and the father is not in the home. You tend to have to be more rougher with the boys than you are with the girls. Family meeting. We get Kanisha's family, which is Claudia, her mother, Rio, her father, and Kalia, her sister. All within want to make sure that she's 100% sure in this relationship, making sure she's financially taken care of, stability. But the mom wanted to put more of a weird tone and a weird concern that the love that they have for their dog Kobe, she wants to know if she can love LeBaron the same way. Why are you comparing my son's love to a dog? Why are you comparing her fiance to a dog's love? Makes zero sense to me. And the whole hiding, because in the beginning of their friendship, she invited her friends to see her family, and at the time they were just friends. But there's some gaps in miscommunication about how she left from them being friends to being in a relationship to now being engaged. So we need to find out more about that. On LeBaron's side, we got his mother Rhonda, his best friend Joshua, and his cousin Kiata. Everybody's concern is making sure that he is welcoming the family with respect and love and welcoming. You know what I'm saying? Treat him right. Because they have opened Kanisha up in their family, and she has a really good relationship with the cousin, so they're privy to their relationship. So, after they break for the task, the sister is obviously in her feelings because she still wants to know how is it that his family knows more about your relationship, but your own family does. I've only known him 9 months, only met him one time. And then she said, okay, let's talk about it. Why are you upset? So first you tell us he's your friend, and then you spring on us that you're in a relationship with him. I don't know anything about him, and every time I'm asked, I say I don't know him. I want the opportunity because it wasn't given to her. So obviously Kanisha felt like she didn't give her sister the opportunity to fully know and then be informed and updated on their relationship. And all she knows was that he was her friend. So the cousin came in and said, well, I've known they were a thing for 3 years, 2.5 max. Away from her only knowing him a year. So she said, answer me that I'm your sister, yet I don't know what's going on in your life. So apparently, she said, I've been driving to a whole other area to see them, to tell them about it. But she said there was phone conversation, there was Skype, there's Twitter, that you did not use any other form of communication to let me know what's going on. I think Khaneshia doesn't want to because her parents came off very judgmental towards me. And they were projecting with the ideas, what they were learned about the Baron, but they went completely left, in my opinion. So the sister walks away, still upset, still irritated. And the cousin felt like, okay, well, if she reacted to that, there's going to be more conversations going to happen after that. But she needs to know how to not react at that point because I don't think it's your fault. Even though I do believe that Khaneshia was be lacking in communication, but I think her parents have such a high presence about themselves that it makes it hard for her to feel confident to even come to them to talk about anything. Mm. So then we get to the task. So obviously, it was asked of Khanesia's family to Lebaron, do you think we care about you and why? He said, I feel like you guys were not aware of our transitioning from being friends and being a couple. When I first met you guys, um, so the family talks, you know, how you were a secret, never fully to admit to us your relationship for the past 3 years. You've been a mythical creature. We never heard you. And apparently, you know, he can understand on how we were posed as friends at first and then we moved to the relationship. I could have sworn she told y'all about what was going on. I apologize for that. That was not our intent to be a secret to anything. So then, of course, it's still, you know, not sitting with the family as to why, you know, you were still a secret. You was hiding. Then, of course, the mom felt like, you know, you plan on marrying my daughter, but yet didn't know that you were serious about her. And do you have a plan? Oh, did I get to that part yet? No, I didn't get to that part yet. Oh, why did you keep your relationship private? So her family is traditional. They came from the church. So they figure, you know, living by church rules, you don't date just to date. You date to intend to marry. So serious as serious is, you know. So she kind of hid her relationship that she had in high school because she was told to not date in high school. So when everything that developed that weren't serious or wasn't for the moment, she never informed her parents because they wasn't going to give her no time, no space, no freedom to conversate about it. They wasn't going to do it because they felt like they didn't want to waste their time with getting to know someone that's not going to stay for a long term. But that's how you get to know people. That's how you open up with or knowing what your daughter likes and what you might know what to expect when she does bring someone that is going to stay. And then it's like with the cousins. He said, well, I think that's a good thing that you guys start off as friends because that's the foundation. You develop a friendship, that's where you're going to be settled for the relationship itself. And once you have a foundation as friends. And it makes me think you guys are not as close as you guys think you are. Especially with the sister. The sister was on one this episode. And the mom don't like the fact that off the bat, they read my son up like he wasn't nothing. Felt like he wasn't good enough. Like he did not come to the table with what he can provide for. Not cool. And with finding out that LeBaron didn't know that Khaneshia did not keep up an update with their relationship, he felt like where I came from in my last relationships, once the parents knew, like once I'm in a relationship, my parents knew. But the question is, why she had to hide it? I just don't think it was a hid. I don't think hiding is the answer. I think it was, why didn't you update us on the relationship? We didn't know it went from friends to relationship so fast, and you guys have been in a steady relationship for the last 3 years. Been in a relationship, now you're engaged. We missed out on keeping up and talking about it. But I think because Khaneshia feels like you guys are not open to have those type of conversations. So she probably feel like you guys weren't even going to care. And if you had to say something about LeBaron, would it be his quick tone? Because he's blunt, he's straight to the point. It could be harsh. And she wants him to, like, you know, dial it down a bit. They have instant conversations about it and disagreements about it all the time. But it's being worked on. And he says, I'm very direct and I'm trying to work on being delivered because I can understand how it makes her feel. Her mother's concerns, which one? Calling my son's love a parrot to a dog. Why is she comparing your love of a dog to my son? That's not cool whatsoever. So it was a 3 to 5 year plan about financials, and he didn't have a question. So the mom felt like, you ain't got no plan, just say that. Just be honest. See, he's just so abrupt, so short, so writing him off. Didn't like it at all whatsoever. So, of course, they felt like since you don't have a plan to marry my sister, what means you have a plan for the future? I think he does have a plan. You guys are not being open up to hear it. So then the sister asked about a prenup. Left field. He said, what do you mean? I mean, have you thought about a prenup? Do you know what she has? Do you know what you have? Well, he felt like, I know she's doing well, but I don't think she needs a prenup. I don't want anything from her. Well, we're going to bring it up to her. Because that's why he asked them, did you guys know about the prenup? Did she tell you about it? Oh, we're going to talk to her about it. Okay. Not yet, but we're asking you. So the family dinner, he talks about the biggest news was them finding out about how we did not tell them from our being friends to relationship. And they didn't know we were a couple until last year. But she said she told her mom that I was dating someone. But I think that's the term that her mom took upon with the words was dating. You didn't say you were in a serious relationship with this man. You just told me you were dating. I didn't think this was serious. But again, I think that the mom knew she's one to create an issue, which my opinion. I think she wanted to create an issue, and I don't think that was fair at all. And then the disconnect of them jumping into a friendship from a relationship, but the way that they did it makes sense. But the way they was presented to the family was like there's some holes missing. What's going on? And she feels like we don't talk about this. We don't have conversations about relationships. So I felt like, I only told you guys what I feel you guys will want to know. You guys will want to hear. I guess that's what I did. So stopping that because she told her mom, the sister felt like they have a right to know. And of course, it's being perceived as to how you came up in here like you knew my son and you knew how he makes my daughter feel, but yet you wrote him off as if he's not good enough. And I feel some type of way about it, especially if you compare my son's love to a dog. Because same point in time, my son went to school just like your daughter did. He graduated, made a business. He has a part-time job on top of that. So he's raised from the church. He's respectful. He does not disrespect nobody in any way. So I don't know why you're writing him off as if he is not good on paper or good in person. Don't do that. So main question was, how you going to support my daughter? Because I want to make sure my daughter is protected. The mom got a headache and she didn't want to talk about it. That's the problem for me. How you want to have a conversation with what you want to know since you didn't get a chance to know? We're having it. Now you want to change the subject. Fine. So the prenup. Why are we talking about the prenup? I thought they were talking to you about it. I don't think about it. Why would I want a prenup if I don't have anything to feel like I got to keep from you? But then the sister chimes in and says, we got a family business, okay? And we have an estate. And I don't want anything to be taken from that because what if you guys break up and you want to come after our fortune to make yourself rich because folks do crazy out of anger? Where the hell did that come from? Where did that come from that you are projecting that Lebaron is some form of treasure hunter? How he's going to manipulate Khaneshia out of all her millions and leave her for nothing. I don't know where that came from to me. And then the father agreed by saying, I don't want to leave this earth and he's going to take my fortune. How are you guys giving that type of... Okay. So, day 2. I'm mad that we did not get a full clarification of that because that was fucked up to have a conversation about. That was fucked up to write him off as if you guys don't know him. You guys came here to get to know him and wonder why you guys have been kept in the dark. But you guys want to project what you think you know based off of what? Based off of what? So, day 2, the mom is cooking breakfast. His mom is. And Khanesia's mom is criticizing her on what she's using and what she should use. She felt like, Mom, go away. This is not your day to cook. This is my day to cook. Bye-bye. So, Khanesia's feeling very frustrated about how things have happened. And he comes in and speaks up for her because he feels like they're being needy with the information that's given to them. And when they don't hear from her or they hold it in and give her stress and blame it on her for her not informing them. Because if you want to know about me, I'm right here. Talk to me. I will clear some things up for you. But they didn't do that. They want to hold it and place the stress upon their daughter. So talking about comparing the dog to love analogy wasn't right. And the relationship, because considering how they are a couple, there are things that were missed out on that they want to be clarified on. And maybe they don't want the feedback from her parents. Maybe that's why Khaneshia is, hiding, not fully being open about her relationship, because she doesn't want her parents to write it off, make it sound negative. But if this is the man you want to be with, fuck whoever gotta say about it, whether they like it or not. So talking about the task and how long they've been together, and she's gone home and they've been around her, they've been around her family, talked about how much she likes him and how they want to get to know each other and how it's getting serious. So why is it that they're not seeing what she told them? That's the point. They want to be told, they want to be confirmed that she's dating this man, and just seeing it is not enough. Because that's what Lebaron said. They're so focused on what she's saying versus than what we're seeing. If we're seeing that we're loving, we're having a good time, we're gonna get married, it's still not clicking. Because she didn't tell us that you guys are in a relationship. She didn't tell us you guys are engaged. We had to find out coming from here. So everything is all new coming from them. And they want to know how did it come about, because we wasn't privy to this process. But I still feel like it's still wrong for her family to just hold it over her head that she was communicated without looking at how they're coming off. They're not looking at themselves as to why it's hard for her to be honest and open with them. So the main issue is communication. So she didn't like it. She starts to cry. Then um they want to know how we can have how we can have this open. How we can have it like, figured out, because Khaneshia doesn't feel like it's not wrong of her to not open up about her relationship to her family, just for them to just see it and accept it without any questions. You don't think it's wrong that you were not as communicative to your family about your relationship, that they should just come in and just say, okay, we like him, but we don't know him. So she's breaking down and she understands it. They have a conversation. So she apologizes to them for not being as open and transparent and inviting about her relationship. That wasn't her intent. And growing up, we weren't allowed to talk about relationships. Like I said, they were in the church. They were very strict. They weren't allowed to date. The mom said no. The other sister said we were. The only time we mentioned you about dating is if we were intending to marry. Because that's where you guys were. That's where you guys came from, a generation. So then that's where I said she had to sneak around, have relationships. And if it wasn't serious, she did not mention it to you guys. So then the sister brings up, okay, so what's going to happen if you're pregnant? Are you going to tell us 9 months in? Which is fucked up to do, but I don't think she would. It's just like the sister's just barking. Barking, barking, barking. I didn't like it whatsoever. I think the sisters wanted to make sure. I think the sister's main concern was that she was not invited into the space that Khaneshia was spreading with the other family. She was not in the clique of knowing all the things about the relationship, and she was mad that she was out. So basically, it's kind of like Khaneshia has a hard time talking to her mother about what she likes and don't like, because I think her mom has a very strict personality that she doesn't like what she hears. She writes it off and says, I'm not talking about it no more. So she feels like, I'm a little kid. You're not treating me like an adult that's telling you what I like, telling you who I want to marry, and you're not open enough to hearing it. So then she's not even looking at herself at this point. The mom don't hear what she's doing to her daughter is making her feel upset. She feels like you're still not being open and honest about your relationship. That's why you hid it for so long. I'm thinking there's some verbal abuse sitting going on. She's like, what you mean? How can you say that? How dare you say that? Well, I heard from your younger sister Elizabeth on how you guys have arguments and verbal abuse comes to mind. Do I look like I'm in a verbal abusive situation? I know I'm smart. Do I look like I'm hurt? Do I look like I'm going through something? Why would you even say that without no proof? You have no proof of how he's interacted with me this entire time. How can you say that about somebody? So of course she gets up, and I'm not mad that she gets up. I'm not. So she goes to the cousin. She tells her cousin, and the cousin is definitely surprised and shocked. And she's like, first of all, that's fucked up to say without knowing who he is and his character. The sister comes following, trying to defend her mother. Say, you know why? Because you heard it from a third party. I don't even think that the argument that Khaneshia and LeBaron have are that problematic. That needs to be talked about every time to the mom every 5 minutes. I don't think that's what it was, but the cousin wants to be sure that your mom to get it wrong. My cousin is a lot of things, but he's not verbally abusing to nobody. But then the sister's still feeling envious about how close Khaneshia is to his family. So she still wants to make sure she's still a sister to me. Invite me in. Why am I out? You're supposed to bring family and family. You don't take outsiders in the family. But I feel like who was outside? You know what I'm saying? Granted, she's having a relationship with them, but you guys don't give her the space or give her the space to be vulnerable, the confidence to want to talk to y'all, because y'all are hard. You guys are just mental. You guys are just So she leaves. The sister follows her, which I didn't like. She goes inside, tells LeBaron, tells his mother. She said, first of all, I know my son has a very blunt assertiveness, but he is far from abusive. He was raised respectful, and I can see that. Because he is a very calm individual that I'm looking at him like. So again, you're talking about somebody who has no proof. No proof whatsoever. How dare you? So yeah, so the sister's going off, and I feel like it's bullshit to me. But then it's been calmed down. The mom goes outside and talks to her. She said, first of all, if you want to know more about me, ask me. Tell me how I'm feeling. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling happy. If I was in a situation that I wasn't supposed to be in, you would know. And I would know because I'm very smart. I'm not stupid. And the mom said I meant no harm into what I said. I'm just lost into translation. I'm lost in dialogue. I'm lost in what I don't know. But I still feel like to project that was wrong to do. And it's terrible lack of communication on both aspects, in my opinion. And she apologizes. She wants to be more present. She wants to get to know more about him. And she said, I love that. We can schedule a way for you guys to meet each other more so you guys can be more comfortable around him, to get to know him. And I'm sorry that I have not been as open and honest and transparent about my relationship. I dropped the ball. Quick scene of Claudia and LeBaron having a conversation. She kind of apologizes if she said something wrong about the verbal abuse comment because she doesn't know him. Because she's never liked any of her boyfriends because she wanted more for her daughter. She wanted better. But the expectations that Claudia had for her daughter wasn't what she wanted. She assumed that she knew was best because that's her daughter. She wanted her to have the best. So she used her intentions and her reasoning and her, sight of who she thought she should marry. But he said, listen, I love your daughter. I want to take care of her. I love her and I want her to be happy. And she said, I love that too. I can tell that you love her. And I want us to get better. I want us to get to know each other more. He said, I'm down with that. They hug. Day 3. So, conversation about the verbal abuse. She set her mom straight. She apologized. Had a great conversation with LeBaron. And now we're going to, move a different picture. Because obviously with limited information they received, painted a picture that wasn't right. And that was their fault. So blessing ceremony, everybody says yes besides the mother. Because there were some things that was not clarified and resolved in this episode. Why did she compare my son's love to a dog? Why are we talking about him being a fortune hunter trying to get money out of you? And why are we talking about a prenup? Those things wasn't resolved. Those things wasn't talked about because where did you guys feel that energy coming from? So she said no. And I don't think you guys are looking at my son the way that I know who he is. My son's a wonderful man. And he is my one and only son. And I want him to be happy. So the fact that you guys are automatically saying yes after y'all treating him like this, I don't know if I'm going to say yes to this. And I'm not even mad. It shocked me that the mom said no, but I'm not mad at all. She definitely had the right to, because the projection that the mom, the brother, and the sister, no, the mom, the father, and the sister was giving was too much for me. So LeBaron and Khaneshia understood where it was coming from. They knew they got some work to do, and that's what they're going to do. So, update, they're in premarital counseling to continue to work on their relationship. She is communicating better with her family, and they're visiting more. And they're planning to marry in 2022. LeBaron is confident that his mother will attend, so she's still not fully on the board with this all because of how they treated her son within this time frame. And I'm not mad at all for it, but that was it, you guys. That's all I have. It wasn't really much this episode because it went by fast in my opinion. But the resolvement of the dog comment, the prenup, and the fortune hunter needed to be resolved. But quick pace, I guess. But that's it, y'all. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for the next video, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.